be late.
Alley assembly. Step up and see flash is the Toyleet crew. We're the kings of the game, yeah, the chosen few. From the shadows we rise with the rarest finds. Collect them, respect them, we're one of a kind. Toyleet, ready the streets. Elite with the feats in this collectible feast. Toyleet, never the street. When the heart of the beat, we're all playmates. Me, check our stacks, our collection supreme. Limited editions, every collector's dream. We're the myths, we're the legends. With every drop, taking over the block, we never stop. In the alleys where the echoes play, Toyleet's the name, hear what we say. Rising, thriving, always thriving. In our realm we're always thriving. Toyleet, bring the street, the live Toyleet, setting the pace. With a snap of the case and a click of the lock, Toyleet's on top and we're ready to rock. Collecting more than just toys, we're up. We're up. We're up.
What's up?
What's up, dude? What's going down?
Bro?
Hey, man. How'd you like the new intro?
I love the new intro.
Good
And
deal,
Punk,
man. Good deal.
We're never late. Unlike you, who can't start a show on time, even though he's been doing the same show at the same time for over a year now.
Has he? It's been over a year?
You wouldn't know it. I mean,
No.
you know, but yeah.
Absolutely. So you know the deal, right? He's Ed. Oh, hold on. He's Ed, Axion Figs.
And he's Travis, Mr. Wonderful.
And together,
we're
Toyleet. So
what's happening, dude?
Yeah, I'm good, man. You know, just gonna give everybody a heads up on what we do, what we like to do on here, and how we roll. So, you know, like I said, he's Ed, I'm Travis, Mr. Wonderful, and Axion Figs. Come together to talk plastic. It's one of our passions, right? You know, we will talk toys. We will also do a little what we refer to kind of toy adjacent. So it could be, you know, some pop culture, you know, movies, comics, things like that. Maybe even a video game at some point. I don't have much time for them, but occasionally things come out that are cool. So we'll talk about those. But a lot of the time is spent talking about toys. We always love to shout out someone from the community that we connect with that's always supporting other folks. And then we'll also give you some weekly news. We don't talk shop about Mattel and Hasbro and the big guys. We typically try to focus on, you know, the independent stuff out there. We really enjoy it. It's a huge amount of my money collection that I focus on, and Ed is very much in that same space. So we like to talk about that. And plus, there's other guys out there. Some of them are in this chat, like a Punk with Toys, who do a much better job talking about the mainstream toy lines that are out there. So check his show out on Monday nights. He'll ramble for like 180 minutes plus before he gets to his main topic. And
Yeah,
I did the math. Did you see me do the math?
Yeah.
Did you see me do the math there? I was checking it. But so you know, check those guys out. They'll go through all of their those stuff. There's plenty of other guys. Who's the other guy? Art Robo, and then there's what's his name? Unboxing Art. He does a good show. Yep, he does a good show where he talks modern stuff. So check those guys out. Yep. Check us out for the independent stuff. We like to talk about that stuff. Kickstarters, smaller companies that are, you know, even Four Horsemen, right, are in that kind of like breaking the ceiling there. So we'll talk about that stuff. And then we always have a main topic, which we'll talk a little bit about later and give you guys a little preview as what we're talking about. And then there's that big one, right? It's the big dump flush, right? It's that Toyleet or Toilet.
Toyleet.
So are we gonna shelf it or are we gonna flush it? It's kind of like that situation. So
where are we at? We're on episode 8, right?
No, episode 9, dude.
Episode
you
9.
Totally forgot one.
Yeah, and we've had only one flush, right?
Two.
2 flushes because we had
Two.
Vader last week.
Because Vader got chucked. He
Vader
got dump chucked.
flushed.
He was a sinker. I didn't even have to flush him. He just went right down the toilet. Like it was ready
Well,
for him.
once his helmet filled up, it was all over for
Well,
him.
because he's got a tiny helmet. I mean, Lord Ludi told you his helmet's so small.
Tiny helmet, tiny balls. He's not going to float.
Exactly. He's definitely not a floater. He doesn't hang out at the drain and hang out there too long.
Yeah.
He's boop. So yeah, that's the deal. And that's what we go through. So we'll get to that stuff. But do we wanna how you been, Ed? I did a whole lot of talking. How are you?
I've been good, man. I got some things going on in life right now that we won't discuss or divulge yet because it's not ready to yet. But nothing bad, just good stuff.
That's good.
But,
That's good.
things keeping me busy. Let's put it that way. But
Absolutely.
been beautiful here in Western New York. So as people can tell, I've had plenty of time to be out at the creek taking some pictures.
That's great.
And, I've been having fun doing some living with Ken. For the
Those are some good videos, man.
And,
good slides there. Yeah.
And other than that, I've just been hanging out, working, and doing stuff. So
good deal.
How about yourself? What have you been up to? I know you had a toy show Sunday, right? Sunday you had a toy show.
Yeah. Let me talk about the toy show in just a second because you talked about hitting the crick.
Yeah.
And getting outside and taking pictures outside.
Yes,
and
bravo.
I'm not a person to do that, but you know what? I finally did it. I took the Son of Wonder out. We went right into our own backyard, right? Mosquitoes are a little tough because we have one of those old school, like our property is about 2 acres. About 1.5 acres of it's wooded. So we got some nice privacy. We got trails back there. I got chicken. Like there's a lot of suburban kind of woodsy stuff back there. But we're on like a big plot that used to be owned by one person, one farmer, and they owned a lot of wilderness here. And it was a development came in. So everybody around us has multiple acres too. And, what's nice is that, we have this space to just kind of go out and just kind of journey in. But the thing is, old school property line markers, all those rock walls with the barbed wire.
Yeah.
So we went back there the other day, tried to snag some pictures. And, unfortunately, the mosquitoes were just too bad. So we
I was in the woods,
in the center of the yard.
I was in Friday or Saturday afternoon. And it's been like in the late high 70s, high 70s, low 80s here, right? And you're in the same place because you're only a couple hours away from me. And man, I'll tell you, I was in there for maybe an hour, and I was like, "Damn, bugs are just all over the place." Man.
Oh man,
horrible.
Yeah, it's rough. And we treat and stuff, and I spray myself with stuff, and it was bad. But you saw some pictures I posted yesterday. I got back out there today. Some of those pictures are actually seen in the intro video. So if you haven't seen it, go back and rewatch it. It's all new, vamped up. We did the full release of the song and the whole thing.
We'll play it at the end
photos
before we sign off.
Too. Yeah, we can do that. That'll be a good idea.
Anybody can see it.
But yeah, so I got outside, took some pictures, had a heck of a lot of fun. I normally don't do it, but I was trying to get my son to get out and touch grass. So as they say, so we did that and had a fun time. But before that, on Sunday, had the toy show. It wasn't crazy. I want to say maybe 40 vendors or so there. A good amount of space. I got set up, got creative with the setup and stuff. And as you know, I was going there to unload some toys that I'd been collecting and holding on to, some Power Ranger Lightning, I had a His tank there.
The His tank is gone.
It is. There's no His tank.
Yeah.
There's no His tank.
So how long did it last at the show?
It's like 2 hours.
Oh, nice.
There was a couple people that, didn't know what it was. And then that's the thing is I think the crowd wasn't, big into the
toy crowd.
Yeah, it was definitely, if I had been PowerCon, people would have been, boom, 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 hey. But there was just a few people that knew what it was and were into it. A lot of legacy, or not legacy, like old school, Star Wars, old school Joes, a lot of Matchbox and cars and stuff. Yeah. Things like that. Wasn't a whole lot of general.
So it was really a lot more vintage toys than.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. The word vintage. Yeah, more vintage stuff. But there was definitely some current day modern stuff. My son got some Fortnite figures and stuff.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, it was a good show overall. My thing was I was there to move some of that stuff, but also promote Hexastack. I I delayed the release. It's coming. It's going to come out within the next couple days. I'm not going to tell you exactly what day because I want a slow launch, so it's not everyone hitting it at once. But on Sunday, I decided based on some feedback that I got from some Kickstarter backers that had reached out asking, "Hey, are you going to be selling that at the show that you're at on Sunday? Or are you going to give us a chance to get it first since we've been waiting quite a while?" And I said, you know what? That's a good point. I don't want to give somebody else a chance. So what I decided to do was just use it as a promotional opportunity and got Hexastack out in front of some folks and a lot of interest. It was really, really cool. I do think I might have pissed off a few other vendors though, because the prices on all my toys were so low. And when somebody asked why, I was like, because I'm not here to sell that stuff. I'm here to promote this stuff. So if you come look at these prices, I want you to just listen to my spiel on this stuff. And it went really well. So got a few more followers and stuff on Instagram. Some people reached out.
Those boxes you were packing up in the intro video, those boxes look sharp, man.
Yeah, those are clean, man. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm really excited to get those. I think folks are gonna be happy with the overall presentation. And it always goes back to I want to do it right. I don't want to necessarily do it right now. I want to do it right. And part of doing it right is making sure that it meets my quality, the process of ordering is efficient, and the customers are taken care of. So making sure they're happy with everything. But it's coming. Don't be surprised if I'm canceling next week's show, Ed, because I'm packing boxes, hopefully.
Hey, if you're that far ass deep into Hexastack, I'll drive out and help you pack.
Awesome, brother. Good deal. Yeah. So, before I hand it off to you, since I was at the toy show this weekend, I didn't pick anything up from the toy show. I didn't. My son got a couple Fortnite figures used, but there was nothing there that I needed. One of the vendors had some Ultimate WWE wrestler guys, and I already had all the ones that I wanted, so I passed on everything there. Just spent a couple bucks on him. But I did get this.
Yeah, what is that stack you got there next to?
This is a stack of boxes from this company that Harbinger Studios. I backed them like a year ago. My wife did see these, and that was the funny thing. My wife helped me bring my stuff into the toy show on Sunday, and she says, "I didn't realize you had this much crap." I don't think she realizes how much I still have. That's the key. No, but yeah, so I have
like
these.
Like Kato the other night, you got to start counting to see if she pops her head in that door. How much stuff do you have?
Yeah, I'm good. No, yeah. So she actually wheeled the cart in for me and was helping me because my hands were full with tables.
You got
and
a
stuff.
good woman there, brother.
Oh, she's a champ, dude. Best. I'm so blessed. I'm luckier than I deserve, and all that fun stuff. But yeah, so I picked up the Savage Crucible, got my all in wave 1 x 2, and then the couple loose figures. I gotta say, I totally dropped the ball. I should have got a hell of a lot more slate figures. That said, I'm definitely gonna keep my eye out on wave 2 and wave 3 because I will probably get a few more than I already ordered.
Nice.
But yeah, this is just like 6 boxes. Me and the Son of Wonder have gone through and opened all of the other ones. So yeah, you'll see some more photos and stuff of that, as you guys saw in some of the pictures that I posted. I got Como out there hanging out with my modded up or pop and swap versions of AWOCs.
The AWOCs and the Crucible go good together. Like
they do, and the armor fits clean, dude. I used some of the blade armor on one of my Lemurians. I think the slate one actually, and I popped it right on, and it's got that like purple and I think like it's like the light purple and blue or whatever on there, and it looked clean, man. I really like it.
Yeah,
very happy. Awesome. Yes, there is a little bit of a foot ankle thing, but it sounds like they're working on it, and I figure out a way to display it. Those pictures, they're standing there, they're doing what I need to. But
they'll always do what you want them to do. You just got to make it work.
Yeah, I don't complain like some dude who's like 2 foot tall.
Yeah,
he owns YouTube. I better be careful.
Well, he only complains because he knows better. I told him in a comment, you're supposed to be focusing on classified, and the only other line you're allowed to buy is gargoyles. And every time he goes off those 2 properties, he's not happy.
Joy Toy.
Joy Toy he had problems with. Crucible has got problems with. So just stick to the 2 properties, punk.
Yeah.
Quit being a bitch.
Good deal. Well, what did you get this week, Ed? Did you get any pickups?
So I got Quick Kick from the boys at Hella Dope. Picked this up courtesy of Hella Dope Toys. This way, I guess, is the best way. Pretty cool figure. I was never a fan of Quick Kick from the cartoon. I mean, but he is still pretty cool. He's got some really, like his weapons are pretty decent. The swords that he comes with and his nunchucks are pretty cool. He's got the candy bar from the G.I. Joe movie where he's eating the candy bar because he's supposed to be being a stunt man, doing a commercial for whatever that candy bar is called. I can't remember the name of that right now, but
Oh, he comes with a candy bar.
yeah, like a opened up candy bar.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah. And then he's got like this really cool throwing star feature. So it has like the swoosh. So it looks like he's actually
Okay.
throwing a star. So pretty cool figure. And he comes with an extra head. I can't really tell much difference between the heads. One looks like kind of neutral and the other one looks more neutral. So,
Okay.
yeah. So really can't tell much of a difference between the two heads. But then I also got this in from the guys at Hella Dope Toys. This is the G.I. Joe Cobra Technoviper.
Oh,
Now,
is this? Hold on. Before you go too far, is this the thing we were talking about?
this is the thing we're talking
thing.
about. The thing.
The thing.
The thing.
Okay. I mean, go ahead. Go for it. This is all you, man. I'm going to big screen this one.
So I was not, when I got this figure and I looked at it in the package, I really wasn't too happy with them. I was just kind of like, it was just kind of a weird looking figure. But then I got them out of the package and I still wasn't really happy with them. But then when I got them all armored up and got the backpack put on them and the tube for the flamethrower and stuff, really dig this figure. He's actually really, really cool. He's on a little bit bigger of a body than the regular Joes. As you can see, he's kind of bigger in the chest area and stuff. So that's pretty cool. And realistically, he kind of reminds me of like a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
So really badass. He would have been at first, had I not opened him up and tinkered around with him and stuff, he probably would have been getting down in the toilet and, shoving it in there with the plunger and flushing it down. But he definitely saved himself by how cool he poses. He's got this actually really
I like the
cool
color.
Yeah, he's
I like
really
the
cool.
color.
And
It's
he's
got a
also
deep
got
purple.
this thing that you pop into his you pop it into his wrist. See if I can get it in the hole, as she said. But then like it's got the little like digital readout that pops up from his wrist.
Oh, okay. So you can get like to give it like the symbol of like he's got something out there.
Yeah, he's got like some like technical readout of something, a base or a weapon or something, but
I got you.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Good deal.
So yeah, he almost made it down the toilet, but then he redeemed himself just by being
Good deal.
badass. And so he's definitely going up on the shelf.
Cool. Good deal, man.
Yep.
Good deal. So that's not a toilet. That's a Toyleet.
It's a
So
Toyleet.
he moves on to, being
Yep.
the official, Toyleet figure of the year. We'll
That's
see.
right.
There'll be one. Only
Beginning of
one
the
can be a
running.
Toyleet, and only one will be the biggest stinker toilet clogging flusher that there is. So at the end of
That's
the
right.
year, we'll go ahead and come back to those. We'll highlight some things and do a little talk on that. But awesome, Ed. Thank you very much for sharing that. I do like the purple. I haven't gotten too many Joes recently, but that one I might have to
that's
grab.
the first Cobra figure I actually I have Dreadnoks, but I mean like first actual
Okay.
Cobra soldier thing
Good
that
deal.
I got. So
deal.
let's run through the
Why don't
chat
we-
real quick.
Yeah,
We
let's
got
do a
some
chat
people in
check.
here. We got, of course, this guy who Mr. 4000, Mr. YouTube himself, Larry. He's here. Thanks for
Larry
coming
5K.
in, Punk. Larry 5K. And then we got Roll Keeper. What's up, Roll Keeper? And this guy here, Savage Crucifer growing on me, and they are sending everyone new ankles. Nice. And Matthew will be joining, I think, Logic Blaster for a show on some pop culture stuff on Tuesday. I think that starts soon, if it hasn't already.
Cool.
Let's see, Punk. I have to wait till there's at least 20 waiting for me before I start. Yeah, I know. You got to wait
He's
for
like-
20 super chats. Really, is what you're waiting for.
He's like me when I used to wrestle, and we were like,
Yeah.
we're supposed to start at 7, and we were the opening match. I'd peer out through the curtain, and I'd be like, there's like 10 people here. Nah, I ain't going out yet.
Yeah. War Chest is here. Thanks for coming by, War Chest.
Thank you, brother.
Matthew says, such a prima donna, Punk. And Northern Nomad's here. What's up, suckers?
Yeah, I don't have that bit, but
Yeah,
what's
we don't have
up?
that bit either. Down South 77, aka 3-star, aka Darren. What's up, brother? Thanks for coming in. Let's see. Who else we got? Todd C's here. What's up, Todd? We are officially a Toy Tube now. Nolan is in the house. And this guy here. What up, peeps? The Black Knight from Hella Dope. And Husky Hiker. What's up, Maddie? Maddie's one of my buddies local.
Good deal.
And we got the Brickster. You can't box a collector in like that, Ed. We have
That's in
wandering
reference to Punk. He's got wandering eyes. He looks at things and he's like, "Oh, plastic."
Yeah.
And then he's like, he regrets it. It's like
yes.
He's at the bar a little too late. It's about 2-3
Yeah.
o'clock in the morning. He's like, "Ooh, look at that plastic.
Yeah.
Let me give that plastic a shot." Then he's like, the next
well,
morning,
he's always talking about the other Travis and how he has to have first, and he's so emotional about not being first. But I think that's why Punk buys a lot of stuff just so he can be first.
Yeah, that was better to be first than last.
Yeah, that's right. If you're not first, you're last. So Paul Morales is in the house. And let's see, there's some in talking, and then what's Paul said something here? No, that wasn't the one I wanted. This one, Techno Viper. Is there a Garage Viper, DMB Viper, Deep House Viper? Yes, and there's the Punk Viper and the Hair Metal Viper. He's got like the helmet, but the top of it's off, and it's just a big wad of blonde hair that sticks up the top. So pretty cool stuff. Let's see, and Payne Toy Samples here. Payne's show is tomorrow night. It's the first show since coming back to YouTube with an actual guest. Derek Hoover, who we shouted out for yesterday's podcast several weeks ago now, will be joining Aaron on the therapy couch for some toy therapy tomorrow. So check that out.
So this is first show back with a guest. I saw you and Allison on there last week, and you guys were picking
official guests. We're just We're just we're just hanging out, getting him back into the swing of things. This is his first official therapy guest.
Good deal. Hey, well, good luck, Payne.
Yeah,
I'll definitely tune in, brother.
And Allison, the Retro Toy Princess, is here. Greetings, my beautiful small children, and Lawrence.
Good deal. I think that
Travis, how much bubble wrap do you want me to use on your package?
I'm getting a package.
If you read that a different way, hey Travis, how much bubble wrap you want me to use on that package?
Oh, I'm not sure which one. Ron, can you tell me if that is no, it's the end of June, right? I think that's the end of June is when the 4 Horsemen order can ship, right? So it can't be my 4 Horsemen.
No. Oh, and man. Thanos Copter's in the house. What's up, Thanos?
Yeah, I don't need any bubble wrap, by the way. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care how banged up the boxes are.
And
as long as the figures don't break.
Sadly, there's not a Ska Viper.
Awesome. Good deal.
And Brick says, "Oh shit, I need a hair metal Viper." And I believe everybody else is just doing some in talking. And wait, hold on. No bubble wrap on my package, please. Yep. And Allison said something to reply. Me and Ed are like when friends show up unannounced and drink all your Diet Coke and scarf down all the Cool Ranch Doritos before everyone else gets there. Yes, but I would drink all the coffee and eat all the Entenmann's cake.
I don't know what this is, what this not Top Goon exclusive is. I have no idea what that is.
Oh, that's the Mafia.
What?
The dudes with the ski hat. The trench coat.
Oh, okay.
Tracksuit.
Yeah. I don't need those packages. Those are good. Yeah. Just mail them. Yeah, thank you. I didn't realize that. Sweet.
Ooh, can I pop the bubble wrap on your package at Thanos Copter? Ooh, things are getting spicy in here. All right.
I think that brings us to the slides, so I can pull that up real quick.
Yeah, let's preview the topic, and then we'll do a shout out.
Sounds good, man. Oh, wrong thing. Hold on. Oh, I'm not sharing. That's why. Hold on. Thought I was. Sorry, guys. And that should pull us in here. So
down the dusty attic stairs in a box with yesteryears in. We find the treasures once held dear, the playtime pals from yesteryear. Action Figs and Mr. Dell got a tale to tell you, it's all true. Buckle up, we're heading back on a toy train down a memory track. Forgotten favorites, oh how we missed your faces. Locked in time's tied embraces. Now we're bringing you back to places. Forgotten favorites, it's a heartstring tune with action and one full under a nostalgia mood. From visionaries to the Dino Riders, might Sky Commander soaring out of sight. Christ stars warriors in crystal light. Battles fought with childhood delight. Forgotten favorites, oh how we missed your faces. Locked in time's high embraces. Now we're bringing you back to places. Forgotten favorites, it's a heartstring tune with action and one full of nostalgia mood. Turn the pages, feel the magic unfold. These toy stories are pure gold. From the days when play was bold, in our hands had tales we told. So tune in, don't miss the show, where the toys of old get another go. With action, fakes, and Mr. Wonderful by your side, we're on a nostalgic toy-filled ride.
So, brother, we're gonna be talking about some forgotten favorites. Exactly, some forgotten favorites. We kind of put together a top 10 list of some of the forgotten favorites that didn't last long enough, right? Maybe just a couple years there. So we'll take a look at that as we work through. But I think up next is correct me if I'm wrong.
Going to the shout out, I just have to bring these up because these are pretty funny. So Brick had mentioned that he wanted to know if he could pop the bubble wrap on Thanos' package. Thanos replied that he'd try anything once. And Payne says, ain't nobody popping my package. And Brick would like to know, have you explained how you make the songs? He's got his own garage band that can play every type of, what's the word I'm looking for?
The variety of music.
Genre of music. There we go. Yeah. All right. So let's hit the shout out from the crick.
Awesome. Here we go. So shout out from the crick, and take it away, Ed.
Shout out from the crick this week is Random Diorama. Woo!
I spelled it correctly.
Yes. Otherwise known as Radnom. To those of us who understand Ted can't spell, puts Radnom Diorama in the banner for a whole show and doesn't notice it till the end. But so Random Diorama has been, building dioramas for quite a while. Awesome stuff that he does. Awesome work. Does a lot of, the same things that most everybody does, mostly 1/12 scale. He started out by doing like tabletop gaming, for like D&D and things like that. Friday nights, he does a chill and craft stream from anywhere from 10:30 till midnight. He'll start, and he usually goes till 2:30 in the morning, depending on what we're building. And sometimes it's a carryover from last week. Sometimes it's just random stuff that he just decides to throw out there. Really cool stream. A lot of great people in the chat. We all just kind of chill, talk about stuff, give each other tips and tricks and stuff like that. So if you're interested in building dioramas, I would definitely watch his channel because he's got some great tutorials, but also the Friday night craft and chill. There's a lot of guys in that chat that also have a lot of knowledge and input on, just advice and things like that. So,
and I joined it. I don't join it as often as I'd like, but I will say my experiences with Radnom were after I saw him on the Hella Dope show, and then I instantly subbed to him because he seemed like such a cool, legit dude.
Yeah.
And then, I found his live stream, and, on some of the late nights when I'm working in the basement, plugging away at things, he's running late, gives me something to listen to. You guys are chatting. It's a way to pick up on things. And I got to say, like, I screenshotted like some of the videos that were on his YouTube to put in here. And, the how to build trees for your action figure diorama one kind of strikes me. I'm going to have to do some watching of that one because I want to know how to build trees because I had so much fun outside taking pictures. When it gets cold, I do not see myself going out in the snow and taking pictures, but it'd be cool to have some dial sets that I can play inside when I need to.
That's the one cool thing about Random Diorama is that he has no gatekeeping, right? If he's doing something and you want to know the secret or the trick or whatever, he will just tell it to you, Not that a lot of the guys in the community hold back advice and stuff like that, but like he'll just he'll share it, he'll show you, he'll Random's a good dude, man. I mod for him on that show, so I mean, it's a great group of guys in that chat, and Random's good too. So
Yeah, and I got his link up there for his Instagram. That's the @randomdiorama. And then
Yep.
the below link here is to his link tree. So if you check that out, you can find his YouTube, his Instagram. You can also find his Etsy and stuff. Go
Yep.
support him. He's got some really cool stuff that I don't think will leave you
Yep.
dissatisfied.
Everybody that's gotten one of those consoles that's on his Etsy store has been extremely happy and pleased with it. So
Awesome, good deal, cool. So I think that takes us to the
yes.
news. So the weekly news is brought to you in part by Toyleet, I guess. First update here is from the Meta Travelers, right?
Go to Travis
So-
at the weekly news desk. Travis,
Exactly.
what's in the weekly news this week?
Yeah, so you can see they posted some pictures and some updates on the progress they're making. You can see that these are being casted or printed, injected, molded in some orange peach color. From what I understand, a lot of times the factories, when they're producing these, especially when it's like the first runs and they're doing some testing and stuff, they'll just kind of push through in whatever plastic was in there, just to do some initial tests and stuff. So my understanding is that that's what this is likely about. They did allude to in the messaging when they posted it that the final figures will be made with that premium PVC plastic, and it won't retain any of the gypsum color once they're produced. And from the sounds of it, the current batch of 15 figures are being separated and assembled by the factory team, with further updates anticipated.
And this is for what line? The Meta Travelers? Is that what this
Yeah,
is?
the Meta Travelers. Yep.
All right.
Yep. Yeah. So looking forward to that. I think this might be the first time I've had them in the news. So it's another banner that we can go ahead and share in the future. We'll keep our eyes on it. Kind of flag it as part of the news that I'm keeping my eye on.
Yeah.
I didn't back this one. Just the lore and stuff didn't inspire me too much. It wasn't really down my line. But I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what they do. Maybe I'll get something later.
Yeah, this is one of those that after the Kickstarter, if it looks pretty cool, I'll grab one and see what they're about, and then take it from there.
Yeah, there was a question from Brick on these shots. I just wanted to pull that up real quick, and he was asking where they were. I believe these were on Facebook, if I remember correctly. That's where I came across them. I think somebody was sharing them. It actually might have been out on Cato's. He has a group out on Facebook. Cato has a ITS. He just changed over the AWOC group on Facebook from AWOC to independent toy stuff for news or whatever. And it's a group focused on that. And I think I might have seen it there first, which then took me to the Instagram where I snagged the images directly from the Meta Traveler site. So yeah, see what comes out next. I'll keep us updated on that. And then from there, we have Patriot Force, which is really like constantly keeping stuff pumping. And I will say the next slides I show, the next one, I thought it was really cool. When I was pulling up the news for the most recent news, which is even cooler. Well, I don't know if it's even cooler, but it's still cool. The next one I was really excited about, and I realized I missed posting it, and I wanted to show it to everyone because it's a figure that has a dog, which looks to have some decent amount of articulation. And it's going to be part of their Kickstarter. It's a mock-up of, I believe his name is Mike Ritland, and a canine, which comes with two variant heads.
It looks like it's got some decent articulation, cool growling head, and then the neutral head for when he's just standing guard or whatever. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I thought it was cool, some of the accessories that are going to come with the dog. I do believe this one might fall under maybe one of their more what is it called? They have like a deluxe version is what they're planning. So they have some stretch goals and stuff and deluxe. The next item, which is really cool, is this one here. It's the same character. It's a single character. It's based on a gentleman named Clint Emerson, who is a former SEAL of Team 6, an NSA spy operative.
Oh, nice.
He did a lot of undercover disguise work. So, and I'll show you, you can see here, like it's kind of got like a mask. And I think from what I can tell is it looks like it's like a hollowed out mask that'll go over his standard head. So like, I don't know how bulky and weird that might look, but if they do it good, it would be really cool. If it doesn't come out really cool, I'm just going to wish they had done like a alternative head for it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I've made some, I can't say I've done them in 12 scale, but in 1/6 scale, I made my own wraps like that. And it's definitely one of those things where it's like, if it's done the right proportion, it looks great. If it's done just a little too big, it looks like one of the mushroom people from Super Mario, or just kind of goofy, right? So it'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see how it actually comes out when it's on
Yeah.
the head.
I've seen one on like a WWE Elite action figure for one of the Lucha Libre guys where they had
Yeah.
like a mask that went over and it just kind of buffed their heads out
Yep.
too much. So
Yep.
I'm hoping that's not the case, and I'm not quite sure. The rendering here looks okay
Yep.
here, because he's got more of a thicker, outfit on with the red
Yeah.
kind of stuff. But
Yep.
we'll see what they end up coming out with. But I thought it was a really cool concept. And
Absolutely.
this is what they refer to as a deluxe set. So
Yep.
I'm really excited to see this. Again, this Kickstarter is coming soon, I believe, towards the end of June. I will
So-
definitely be keeping an eye on this one.
Real quick,
yeah.
relating to the news, Brick said he actually ordered 2 of the Meta Travelers.
Okay.
And just to answer the question, on Sunday night, Kato announced that he was changing the AWOC group to just it's Kato and talking about independent toys, just because there's not enough continuous AWOC talk going on right now to warrant a actual exclusive show. So
Yep.
still going to have AWOC talk on there. It's just going to be mixed in with other independents. And then War Chest says he's been looking at the Patriot Force for a minute and looks like he's going to go all in on those guys. So
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm not sure how deep I'm going to go, but there's definitely some that I think are really cool that have my attention.
it's going to be
for
interesting to see once they actually show some pictures of like a test shot or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And then I got another screen here with a couple more photos, so you can see, an example of what he was dressed like in real life.
Yeah.
And that's him in disguise, and what the figure's supposed to look like. So very similar. And then you can see here they've got some different colored hands to meet them, the undercover, uniform that he has, and another hollowed out head that I believe is going to slide over top. So again, this is a deluxe figure that's going to be part of their stretch goals if the Kickstarter campaign is successful. So
a whole Mission Impossible storyline with that.
Yeah, man, for sure. Some cool stuff could be had.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the updates on Patriot Force. Next, we're going to cover some Valaverse items here. First, you can see that they have, they had Series 5 visual approach photo was in there just the other day doing some, I'm assuming some promotional photography for Valaverse. You can see they've got, like, I think the Colonel here, and he's standing in the pallets, kind of using that same scenery that they brought to the different conventions and stuff. But what it did suggest was that pre-orders are going to open up late this week, early next week. And of all of the series that Valaverse has released for these Action Force over the course of the last 12 months, this one's the one that I'm very excited for, because you have the new Bucks, which I'll show in some of the follow-up slides here. I do want to make a call out here that these images I got from Instagram from a gentleman named Al. He created the Instagram after I reached out to him, looking to see if I could use some of his photos, because he was at the convention. I think it was in like Connecticut or something over the weekend. It was wherever they had their booth this past weekend, and they had some stuff on display. So he snagged some photos. So again, you can find him on Instagram. Go give him a follow. He's just kicking up. He originally just had a personal Instagram, and after I reached out about these photos, he actually created another Instagram to kind of keep his figure photos on.
I'm not too fond of that weapon that Atlas is holding, but the figure looks pretty damn cool.
Yeah, it's a little bulky and weird looking, but I'll see it once it gets in hand. That is definitely a figure I'm going to get right there.
Oh, for sure.
And actually, both of these are figures I want to get, because as much as I'm not hugely into like the sci-fi aspect of it, this one looks kind of badass, and I got to get one at least. So yeah, I like that. He's sitting there. I like Atlas. He looks cool. Looks big. It'll be interesting to see how that next Buck comes out. So there's that. I think I got another photo in here where you can see the driver from the Vanguard, and then Colonel Siege right there, which again, I want Colonel Siege. I think he looks cool. Of this wave, I don't know all the characters that are coming in it, but I definitely want Atlas, Siege, and that whatever the Swarm.
Yeah, from what I saw, it looks like there's 5 characters, I believe.
Okay.
And then of course they're going to have the driver for the Vanguard and the 100th figure, which is the special edition of Carrick,
or not Carrick, Bone Collector.
Bone Collector, yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Should be a good
Yeah.
Should be a good wave. I'm looking. Keep your eyes out, guys. I know it's gonna hit fast. I will. I'll probably wait. I don't need to be first on my figures.
Yep.
I'll be placing my order with Hella Dope when they get their orders up for
Absolutely.
those.
Yep.
So that's where I'll be going. The next one here is Four Horsemen. I wish I had a little bit more time, as I'm sure a lot of people's wallets wish they had a little bit more time. This was announced since our last show, and already, orders taken since our last show. So this is the Figure Obscura collection.
Anubis and Bastet.
Yeah, so this is $120 set. What I will say is I didn't get this one. Did you get this, Ed? Did you play?
I'm trying to save my money for Joe Fest, and
Gotcha.
so depending on if they have one of these at Joe Fest at the table for 125, I might grab it depending on what the budget is looking like when I actually go. But I would love to have Anubis.
Yeah,
I think Bastet's cool, but I mean, Anubis is one of my favorite Egyptian characters, and I'd love to have all the Egyptian artifacts to go in my Egyptian dio.
That's the piece that I think would be cool, is the Egyptian artifacts, because to me those would be cool to use for kind of the imaginary lore I have bouncing around in my head with all the photos that I've been taking outside and stuff, and the savage world that I'm messing with things in.
I mean, I got my Mezco Indiana Jones coming sometime this fall. Late summer, early fall, and
it'll be interesting, because I think some folks were talking in some of the chats and stuff that this will likely be a retailer.
It'll be
exclusive or something in the future. Maybe even a split pack, so you can get them individually. That would be cool for those that don't want both. And you're probably going to pay, I don't know, $140 for both of them. If you buy them individually, maybe get into this 2-pack. I don't know exactly the pricing they'll have on it, but it'll be interesting to see. But they were already shipping out, I think, today and yesterday.
Yeah, they were already. They were sold out Sunday.
Yeah, actually, I think the guy that I took pictures of, I started following him. The one that I had the Valiverse figures, he must have ordered it, and because I saw him post pictures this morning, maybe, so he's already received his package. And so yeah. This is cool. Again, they're so quick with these. I wish they gave folks a little bit more notice. But
I know. They announced this one really late, because usually they announce it Tuesday, that this weekend is the Figure Obscura. This one was announced Thursday afternoon, and then all of a sudden, it's bam, here it is, Saturday. Holy shit.
It goes back to what I've said, and we've talked about it on previous shows, and we're gonna talk. I'm sure we'll talk about it a dozen more times before we end the series. Right? Is that Four Horsemen, they do some really cool stuff, and the way they market things, they have found a way to do. I mean, because they push this, right? They made everybody jump on it, and that's great. It's a great thing. But man, I'm sure people's wallets wish that they had a little bit more notice to plan for it.
Oh yeah,
because it was just a couple weeks ago they were pushing everybody to buy all those warehouse finds and stuff. So man, very, very interesting. So that's
the thing is that really it's mind blowing, because they still always sell out, right?
That's what it is.
Well,
these ones weren't sold out, though. These ones were still on sale, I think, as of this morning when I last checked. Somebody was putting 50.
Somebody checked last night; they were sold out. Unless they probably still have some the all-in packages maybe left or something.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. I know that maybe it was last night. I don't know when I saw the post, but at some point in the last 24 hours, I saw somebody went online and they must have went and kept adding them to their cart, and they must have put 55 of them in their cart and said, "Oh, looks like there's at least 55 in stock." Oh, so Black Knight's saying it's sold out now. So then they've sold out today.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. So that's Four Horsemen. Another new icon with Ramen Toys. So Ace over there is a wonderful dude to deal with. Still, I know some folks are looking to see the product hit the floor here in the US, so things are on their way. But wanted to go ahead and give an update from one of the things that I saw recently. They had posted some pictures that I thought were really cool. So for those that are interested in, Joe Fest, my understanding is Ace is going to be bringing this with him to Joe Fest to show off, his 1/12 armored vehicle for 6-inch military line figures. Snagged a couple pictures, thought it looked really cool. And one of the things I believe when I saw this picture here in the front, Ace pointed out, there's no post work done on this. It's literally just, there's no editing. This isn't a 3D render. This is this is an actual unit sitting on a desk somewhere having a photo taken without any post work. So looks really cool.
Yeah.
So for those that are world building their 1/12 scale figures and have a crap ton of space,
that'll look good and especially for people that have the hiss, right? That'll be a great Joe vehicle, since it's green, to go against the hiss. So
that'll look good outside for those that actually take their stuff outside.
Yeah,
I do that now. So yeah, so that's cool. Just wanted to show that. We'll continue to keep our eye on the ramen toy
Yeah.
stuff as
And I
it
know a
releases
lot
doing
of
some
people
cool
have
stuff.
gotten their shipping invoices for the
Awesome.
ramen racer also.
Great. That's awesome. Yeah, roll keeper. You're definitely gonna need to
Yeah.
you're gonna need to have stuff ready because there's a lot of stuff coming from Ramen
Yeah,
with vehicles.
lots of
He's nailing
vehicles
that.
coming out between Hasbro, Ramen, Vala, all those
Yep.
guys.
Yeah, I think I'll have like a couple dragonflies for sale later on this year. Yeah, I mean, just like the his tank. So
Yeah,
I don't think I could world build that stuff. I'd rather have more horses at this point, just for the
there you
fantasy
go,
stuff.
man.
But yeah,
Even
next
the
week.
horses from Mythic Legions take up a shit ton of shelf space.
Oh yeah. We had those outside today. We had
Yeah.
we had the Headless Horseman one, and we had the other one that I had gotten originally like a year ago. Yeah, the next one is Animal Warriors: The Kingdom. I still haven't done my backer kit. I opened it up and I'm a little confused, so I really have to go back and watch the video that Brick did like a week or so ago. But I just wanted to kind of call out to folks that
Just
you know, the
randomly
back.
call Brick. He'll answer the phone.
I don't
He
have his
likes
number. Give me his number.
call
Brick,
him on IG.
Brick, I need your number.
He likes to
Brick,
talk on the phone.
Brick, I need you to call me.
He can walk you through exactly what he wants.
Actually, I should make Adam highly articulated take my call because he's the one that convinced me to go double back all in on that. So yeah, so just wanted to give folks an update because there's a little bit of news. The backer kit is now live. If you were a backer, you should have received an email to begin the survey process. Early survey submissions may help unlock additional figures and weapon sets. I know that the end goal here is to have as many of those molds and body bucks and all the unique things pushed as much as possible because they'd like to release them all. 415 call Adam. That's great. Thanks, Brick. And the backers are encouraged to comment on the most recent Kickstarter update for visibility. Ongoing FAQ guidance. Adjustments to pledges can be made multiple times up until the backer kit closes 42 days from the starting of it. I don't have the exact date in front of me, but I'll be keeping folks updated week to week. I'm hoping to have mine submitted, at least the initial one, before the end of the week. Looks like Brick says there's an update tomorrow, and they're going to have a walk Wednesdays for updates on the Kickstarter post. So that's cool. Awesome. That's great.
And Thanos says, just jump in and do it, Travis. You got it.
Yeah. I see like, what do you want for your 1, your 2, your 3? And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then
really, it really just comes down to you making a damn decision on what you want.
Yeah, I want everything, and there's a few of them that I want multiples of.
Yeah.
So that's the Animal Warriors: The Kingdom. And then last but not least,
brutal.
Yeah, I gotta update the logo here. I don't know what their official logo is. This is just one that I found at one point. But yeah, so this is the Brutal Realm. They got a Kickstarter coming soon, and they showed a little preview of their Lion Lord's head design, which is a little bit more detailed than some of the early sketch work we saw. And I believe this is being done by a collaboration with Orobus22 over on Instagram, who creates some of the unique head sculpts for their characters, specifically with a focus on Lion Lord right now. So this one's coming along. That, again, goes back to the head sculpts, and I think the head sculpts look awesome. And right now I'm looking for some cool head sculpts because I just, in the stash of boxes that I was going to the toy show with this weekend, I found that I have a bunch of the King, what's his name, from He-Man?
King Randor?
No, it's the He-Man looking guy.
Or Savage He-Man.
No, it's not Savage one. I only got one of him. He has the cape and everything. I don't know what his name is. Yeah. It's the one that I've modded, but I have like 3 of them in box, and I'm gonna pop them out of the box. But I need some custom heads to paint, and make some different characters.
That picture I sent you over the weekend of that guy that got the 3 different Khazars from the new Marvel Legends lineup, and customized them with different heads. That looked good, dude. That looked really
that's
good.
That's kind of what I want to do.
Yeah,
King Grayskull. Thank you, Master.
King Grayskull,
Thank you, Eldor.
Yeah, speaking of that, let's say hi to Eldor real quick. We haven't said hi to Eldor. Eldor, what's up, man? Thanks for coming in.
Yes, sir. So yeah, that's the one. I have like 2 or 3 of those that I picked up. They were on super clearance like a year ago at Wall or Target. So I snagged a few of them with the intention that I might mod them. Then I threw them in the box. I'm gonna sell them, and now I'm like back to I love the AWOC armor. I can make unique looking characters. I've got Savage Crucible armor and weapons. So I can make some really cool looking figures. I just need some alternative heads for them. So that's what I'm looking for. But yeah. So that brings us to a close on this week's news. Do you want to hit a chat real quick?
No, I brought up pretty much everything because everybody was talking about the stuff we were talking about. So,
Okay.
got the new Motu Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Wave 3 in. Yeah, nice.
Awesome. Good deal.
Oops, that's not the one I wanted.
Cool. Okay. So then,
Yeah, that
that's the
Kazar
case-
would make a great Thundar for sure. Thanos.
Awesome.
All right. He
Okay.
can make a good Beastmaster too with a little pouch in the right sword.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. That would
Yeah.
be cool. Good deal. So if that's the case, then let's go ahead and move on to the next slide.
Down the dusty attic stairs in a box with yesteryears there. We find the treasures once held dear, the playtime pals from yesteryear. Action Figs and Mr. Dell got a tale to tell you, it's all true. Buckle up, we're heading back on a toy train down a memory track. Forgotten favorites, oh how we missed your faces. Locked in time's tight embraces, now we're bringing you back to places. Forgotten favorites, it's a heartstring tune, but that shouldn't end one full under a nostalgia mood. From visionaries to the Dino Riders, might Sky Commander soaring out of sight. Crystars warriors in crystal light, battles fought with childhood delight. Forgotten favorites, oh how we missed your faces. Locked in time's tight embraces, now we're bringing you back to places. Forgotten favorites, it's a heartstring tune that shouldn't end one full under a nostalgia mood. Turn the pages, feel the magic unfold. These toy stories are pure gold. From the days when play was bold, in our hands that tales we told. So tune in, don't miss the show, where the toys of old get another go. With Action Figs and Mr. Wonderful by your side, we're on a nostalgic toy-filled ride.
Okay, so we got the forgotten favorites. It's always good to have a couple second break there. You know, I
You
just
mean
ran
that
the stairs to get ice
fluff.
water.
You mean the fluffless?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
We should just talk like that for an entire hour and just make everyone think they're crazy.
Yeah.
Turn
They
off
already think
comments
we're
and
crazy. We'll just confirm it.
Yeah. So you know, forgotten favorites. We talked about this. This is kind of an idea we came up with, right, Ed?
Yeah.
We were like, you know, there's like toy lines out there that like they
Yeah.
had a blip on the radar, but there's stuff a lot of people remember, and like
Yep.
it's not like, oh, I want to bring this back, but it's just kind of like, let's talk about like, you know, the impacts they had and whatnot. So, you know, this is in no particular order. It's
And
not
it's
even
really-
in like
It's not really even a top 10. It's just a top 10 that we kind of came
Yep.
up with for
exactly.
Because I mean, there's a ton of toy lines out there that were on the radar for a blip. Like Mego had the superhero line, and then when they went from the 8-inch down to the 3-inch, they had the Mego pocket-sized superheroes, and they were great figures, but they were only around for maybe a year or two at the most, and they were gone. But they were, back then they were great. There's a lot of lines like that through the 80s and the 90s. Just like the cartoons. Cartoons lasted a season. They had an action figure line for a season, and that was it. It's gone.
Yeah, exactly. The 5-6 figures, one wave, something like that. Yeah, so that's the idea here. No, it's in no order. It's not even in like oldest to newest or anything like that. It's just 10 items, 10 lines or IPs that we have thought of, put together in a list, and I think some folks will be interested in kind of hearing the background. So the battle trolls, and this is probably more my childhood and your introduction into adulthood, Ed. So you probably aren't as close to this, but when I was a kid, I remember there was trolls, right? Like there was like this big phase right around the 7-8-year-old time where you had these trolls. My mom is a bingo person, and she used to use the little diamond trolls and the gem trolls and stuff at bingo.
My first ex-wife was a very big troll collector, but she collected like the regular ones, not the battle trolls. She had, so there was trolls all over my apartment when I was first in the army because she had a huge collection of trolls, and I would mess with the hair all the time and piss her off
Yep.
because it was just, something you
It
had
was
to
like
do.
a fuzzy, weird. You
Yeah.
could kind of mess with it and do what you wanted with it.
I do
I
remember
had a few of these.
I do remember, like, when I was probably a senior in high school, they had the troll pencil toppers. So
Yep.
you could, like, mess the hair up and then spin the pencil real quick, and it would, like, make the
Yep.
hair freak out. So I do
Yep.
remember that.
Yeah, all kind of tied into that. Yep, the
Yep.
treasure trolls. Master Versal says it right there.
Yep.
Eldar, thank you. Yeah, so the battle trolls, they were a spin-off essentially from that popular
Yep.
troll doll craze. They marketed primarily towards young boys, and they were dressed as various warriors, sports figures, some characters with exaggerated humorous features, etc. I'm pretty sure there was a TV show, if I remember correctly, of some sort where there was some troll characters. I feel like there was. It could be one of those Mandela effects, and I just think there was something, and it might not have existed. And if there wasn't, they probably should have. So now somebody go make it, because it would have been cheesy and a Saturday morning cartoon that I would have enjoyed probably. But these didn't last too long. They were discontinued, likely because of the fact that they were overshadowed by more traditional action figure lines.
Yeah.
And these didn't really gain enough traction among its target audience. It was the marketing folks at the company saying, hey, we're selling all these trolls to little girls and moms and the females that are interested in it, but maybe there's a market for the boys. And it just didn't catch on the same way. The market was saturated with the troll dolls, and the gimmick of battle trolls really didn't sustain long-term impact.
That's kind of one of the things about, even like most of the figures lines on this list, there's a lot of these are like the typical late 80s shade into the late 80s, but really 90s TV, or not TV, toy lines that were just kind of quirky and weird and fun, right? Like you guys had like the what were those balls that were like the gross faces and stuff? Remember those? Somebody can tell me in the chat. They had like they were like rubber balls, but they had like ugly faces on them, and the eyes would kind of pop out. And
I don't remember that.
They were kind of like the Garbage Pail Kids, but they were balls. I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
But like all that kind of stuff was just weird stuff in the 90s.
Mad Balls.
Thanks, Brick. I knew somebody in the chat would remember.
Yep.
So yes, sorry.
No. This is good. No, and a lot of times these are remembered basically for the fact that they had the exaggerated designs. It as you said, right. It kind of showcased, the era's trend of taking a popular concept and adding that more extreme twist, to appeal to G.I. Joe Extreme, all that extreme, everything. They had it on cartoons, commercials. It was in movies, Doritos Extreme. You just slap the extreme on something.
Oh, yeah.
What it was like is you took or in my perspective, you took my mom's bingo Lucky Charms when she was dabbing her little, bingo cards that she had the little dolls in front of. And, you took that and you made it extreme for a boy. So, could they come back? Do you think there's a potential for a revival here, Ed? Because
maybe not for battle trolls, but for trolls in general, for sure. I bet you if they brought a regular trolls line like they had back in that, like when I was buying for my ex-wife, they'd have them for, St. Patrick's Day and, 4th of July, Christmas, they'd come with like little outfits and all sorts of stuff, so.
Yeah. So, right now, I don't think there's any revivals planned. I haven't seen any current status on it when I was doing my research. Could they come up with something? Yeah. I don't know that they'd want to do battle trolls. Maybe somebody, I imagine the cost wouldn't be there. But it'd be interesting to see what a 2024 articulation, and if they added a little bit more to it, what it could end up being.
Brick makes a good point. There are troll dolls in the store because they have the movies out that have been out recently.
Okay. Yeah. So there is that.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was looking more for the battle trolls specifically, but yeah, there was the Justin Timberlake Trolls movie, right? Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, there was a couple trolls movies, I think, but yeah. But still, those are kind of tied into the movie. They're not the traditional trolls, but really bringing the trolls back would not be that hard, especially the regular trolls, because they were basically just like a plastic rubber material body that didn't move except for maybe the arms, and then the head moved, right? And then the big wad of faux hair on top of it. So
that'd be interesting. So the next one here is again one that you may or may not be as familiar with. It's probably closer to the 90s time frame. I don't remember the exact year, but it was Barnyard Commandos. I got a picture here from the Ram tank. But there was it was extreme barnyards. It was,
I never
you know,
had any of these, but I do remember seeing them in the toy stores and stuff because I was still collecting toys. I just was collecting, action figures still that were more military and superhero stuff.
this is from my understanding, and Brick can confirm whether this is just a rumor, but I understand that this is like the pre-release of what eventually became AWOC. No, 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 not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
Yes,
No,
Jason got inspired. He was sitting there one day and a commercial came on for Barnyard Commandos, and he was like,
yeah.
"Damn, I can modernize that with some really good looking warriors that are monkeys and other animals."
Right.
Yep.
Yes.
I can
So
see it now.
these were just anthropomorphic farm animals that were militarized. So you had the ram tank, and each of the figures was equipped with combat gear and weapons. The line included figures like sheeps and pigs, in some sort of random combat attire.
Yeah.
I think Brick threw something up here. Was that related to it?
I was straight edge vegan punk kid, and there were a few of us who'd go out tagging. At one point, we used to tag Barnyard Commandos.
Man, this guy's a tough one here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one actually,
What's a troublemaker?
this one actually did have a an animated series. The concept was probably too niche at the time, and it related to what they were coming out with, very similar. I don't want to say similar things, but there was all sorts of wonky TV shows that were trying to take different things and make them more anthropomorphic, and whatnot. But it failed. And as a result, the main, the action figure line didn't take off or catch the mainstream, as it should have or could have. The cultural impact on this, though, they're remembered. I think a lot of folks remember these because they were kind of goofy. Like folks my age probably remember these more than most. It was
if they don't remember the toys, they definitely remember the cartoon because even I remember the cartoon.
Yeah, and it was late 80s. It was like late 80s toy marketing. These toys, believe it or not, they do have the current status on them is that they do have a cult following, among some collectors, but they're not widely known beyond those that remember it, and those are really into it. That said, potential revival here, maybe.
I could see it coming back.
I could see, a revised version of this.
I'll tell you what they need to do. They need to do Barnyard Commandos, but they need to have the farm animals go against the farm crops. So you could have like an army of corn stalks and like a green bean and a vegetable army go against the Barnyard Commandos.
Yeah, but that'd be like a rated R, like really graphic animation, because the animals are just going to eat the shit out of the corn, and
that'd be the whole reason, right? That'd be the whole
and...
battle, right? You guys keep eating our people, and we got to take you down.
Yeah, if they did some sort of marketing campaign, I'm sure they could bring it back for sure.
But then we could really
be interesting.
Pick off the vegans and have the vegetables start eating the meat products. Let's ask Thanos about that. He's a vegan. We'll ask Thanos.
It's funny that you mentioned food, right? And whatnot, right? So, and Brick, you are right. There is something similar. I'll talk about it in a moment in relation to this one. There's, the food fighters, right? So again, late 80s, anthropomorphic food. So it's kind of like what you were saying, right? Ed, is smashed together Barnyard and, food fighters, and you get this combination. They had things like Sergeant Scoop. They had a very cartoonish and humorous, design. And, it makes me think, honestly, like it makes me think somebody was sitting around in those late, sometime in the 80s, they were at home with their young kid, and their kid happened to see that commercial for McDonald's. And you had like that time when the McDonald's toys were like Transformers, like they had the food nuggets and stuff that were like Transformers. And they're like, oh, we can make food people. And that's how they came up with it. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but that's where like I picture this coming from. But, they had the pizza. And
Allison said earlier that private pizza is what we used to call her ex's brother's complexion.
It wasn't Pizza the Hut, the original space opera. No, we won't go there. Ludi's not here today, so we are not going to hijack the stream. So there wasn't, it was kind of novel and a bit too silly, right? To really,
Yeah.
draw in a massive amount of, fans. But there's been things I remember when my oldest was younger, there's been things like this. There was another anthropomorphic food cartoon for the kids when they were younger. I can't remember what it was called, but there was I don't know that there was toys. I don't remember my kid getting any of them, but there was something, on one of those Nickelodeon stations or whatever,
Yeah.
where they had, that anthropomorphic food and
I think
whatnot.
Luke definitely Luke and my daughter Isabel probably I think they had something like that too for sure. I think it
Yeah.
was probably the same time because your older kids aren't much off of what my
Yeah, my oldest is right there with Luke, so
yeah
in that age. So yeah. And then, you have they're fondly remembered,
yep
humorous, and just again, that experimental nature of the 80s, right? Right, where people were like going crazy with some
yeah
weird concepts and seeing
yeah
it, throwing darts at the, somebody's sitting there, they're like, throw that dart, and we're gonna make
yeah
food into human
yeah
military
yep
lines.
yeah
So
because there was like what ants and
yep.
there was another one that was really popular too. Anyway, real quick, throw related to the topic. Payne says there is a lot of short-lived toy lines. Yep. And
Yep.
then Black Knight says Nacelle brought back the Mad Balls.
Oh,
I did not know that. And
they probably
then
didn't promote. They probably didn't promote it that well.
right,
Is my
well, I
guess.
probably not. And Brick said not to be confused with Sweaty Balls.
That one you have to go to our other paid subscriber. It's behind
Right.
the paywall. We'll talk about it there. But yeah, so current status is that there doesn't seem to be a revival here. It's nostalgic. Could it be reintroduced? I think they could do something with this, right? Like I don't see it having a long run, so they would have to weigh the IP cost, access to stuff.
With the right animation though, this could actually become a cartoon because I mean,
Oh yeah,
other than toning down some of the late 80s 90s grotesqueness that was in all these things, right? I mean,
yeah,
you make them throw like actual like real food at each other, ice
right.
cream drops and pizza, pepperonis and all that. I mean, you could definitely make this into a new toy line and a new
Animation
for sure.
Yeah, and there is a toy line out there. I can't think of the name. I showed it to you, Ed. I think last week when we first started discussing this. I saw it on actually Unboxing Art, and it's office supplies. It's like staplers and
office
things.
supplies, yeah.
I can't remember what the brand is and stuff, but it's more of an independent line. It's actually kind of cool looking. It's got that cheesy late 80s piece to it, but it kind of brings back that Food Fighters Barnyard stuff and makes me think of that. So yeah, it's the office supply stuff, Brick. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's something out there similar. It's an independent line, I believe. 9 to 5 Warriors. That's it. Thank you, Derek. Yeah, so 9 to 5 Warriors looks kind of cool. So
yeah, Derek Hoover, what's up, brother? Again, this is Derek, who we shouted out several weeks ago for his yesterday's podcast. So thanks for popping in, dude.
Absolutely. Awesome. So anything else on the food ones, or you want to get into one of the ones I think that you can speak a little bit more to?
No, let's pop on to the next one.
Awesome. So another one here is the Battle Beast. And this one's an interesting one, right, Ed? Because I think you and I can both talk about this, from, where it kind of came from. But, it's a small, very tiny figures. I don't even know if they're like 2 or 3 inches, but they were really, really tiny. They had heat sensitive stickers that revealed their battle strengths, wood, water, fire. They were part of the larger Transformers universe in Japan, which I didn't know.
Yep. I didn't know that. When I first saw the 4-inch AWOC figures, this is what they reminded me of.
Oh, okay.
Just because they were kind of like blocky, and the original AWOC figures weren't exactly built like as anthropomorphic as the 6-inch ones are, right? The 4-inch figures were kind of squatty and weird design like these Battle Beasts were. But now, as we know, we have the Morphonauts that are basically up scaled version of the Battle Beast.
It's definitely inspired from Battle Beast based on what they were.
Yeah,
producing.
even the designer, even the creator said so, right? He's even said that. So
yeah. And for these ones back when they came out, one of the reasons they were discontinued, at least one of the reasons I would assume, is that, once the, nostalgia, or I'm sorry, the novelty of, the heat sensitive stickers, had worn off, they typically, they face competition from other more dynamic action figures at the time. So, they kind of got, pushed aside, and that's for the reason of the discontinuation of that.
Yeah.
But, again,
this is probably one of those attempts because they were pretty big as being part of the Transformers line in other countries, and Hasbro was probably like, hey, we need to bring these over, and they just
It just never took off
Yeah.
to the level that they want. But it has a cult following, like you
Oh,
said,
yeah, for sure.
because it definitely had an impact. There's a number of there's Morphonauts is the one that's most recent. Kickstarter succeeded in process. I think I'll have updates next week for that because I saw some stuff come out that I came across. It's just a little too late to get into the slides this week, but they're progressing. Again, those characters are very much based off this idea of these battle beasts in a 6-inch scale, or 1/12 scale line. The figures are collectible currently. There's no, from my understanding and what I was able to find, there's no official Battle Beast continuation or revival coming. I would also, when we talk about potential revivals, could they come out with something? Probably, but they'd be competing with Morphonauts at this point because the Morphonauts there have taken the taking the bull by the horns and created something that's very similar to drive that revival or that touch on that appeal to those fans. And tag onto the nostalgia that those folks would be interested in.
Brick says yes, Army Ants, and Thanos chimed in and said his cousin had a ton of the Army Ants. I had a younger cousin that had a ton of the Army Ants too. They were really cool. Derek really loves the Food Fighters and the Army Ants. Brick said Mad Balls was also premium DNA, not in a cell. They're rad.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they did put bodies on them. That's right. They did. Derek again. Hell yeah, you had me at Nostalgic Toys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
He's waiting for someone to revive Dragons, Knights, and Daggers, and Robots, Lasers, and Galaxies, supplemental fantasy and sci-fi lines. Yep, those are good lines.
I'll have to look into those.
Kinnikuman 1/12 figures. Muscle.
I remember
cool.
Muscle. That was one that I almost put on this list because I had tons of those little. Those are the little pink dudes, right?
Little pink dudes.
Yep. I had so many of those things. Used them all the time.
Yeah, the muscles were awesome. I was an older teenager when Muscle came out. I still collected those figures just because they were cool. I mean, you could buy a bucket of those things for nothing back in the day.
That's what it was. I got a bunch from a garage sale one day, man. I remember it. My dad must have given me like $2-3, and I swear it was hundreds of those little dudes.
Yep.
Yeah.
They had some cool designs, even though they were basically just molded rubber figures.
Oh yeah. Right? They were like erasers.
Yep.
That's basically what they were.
Yep.
They were like, I mean, I don't know that they would have worked that way, but they felt they were like a big thick eraser.
Yeah, they felt just like an eraser. I never tried to use it as an eraser.
No articulation.
Yeah, no.
The next one I think you can speak to pretty good here, Ed, is the Starcom, right?
Yeah. So now I never really had that many. I think I had one chip and the one figure from Starcom, but I absolutely loved this cartoon. It's still on the Group Therapy podcast. Just ran. They do a Saturday morning cartoon, like 4-hour block of just like oddball cartoons, and he'll do a whole season. He just finished up recently the Starcom season, but really cool. Okay. Kind of like a Galaxy Ranger, Silverhawks, but not without. They didn't have like the metal things. It was just like a good team of astronaut, like space police fighting off, the bad guys. So.
And they had an animated series, right?
That's it was animated. Yep. Yeah. It was kind of almost anime. Okay. Like that year, like that age anime, like Voltron, that kind of anime.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah. But one of the reasons it was kind of discontinued, from my understanding, was that it just didn't catch on enough with the market because it was, as the market kind of been being dominated at the time by the likes of Transformers and G.I. Joe, correct?
Yep. And it was, I believe the figures were a little smaller, like maybe like 2.75 or 3 inch. They didn't quite scale with everything, so that kind of
gotcha.
But the vehicles were awesome. Like the cartoon has some awesome vehicles, and they made some cool. Yes, Spiral Zone was another one that was very similar to that. That was good too.
Okay.
But yeah, Starcom was a cool show, cool toy line.
Yeah. So I mean, right now, my understanding is that there's nothing currently in the works for revival.
This is another one of those like cult things, like G-Force, Defenders, Defenders of the Earth, those kind of cartoons where it's like
Gotcha.
there's a select group of people that really were diehards that still,
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, and the one thing is that you're right, there is diehards, because when I was looking into this, one of the things is they are highly sought after, highly
Yep.
collectible items that can catch or fetch a pretty high price tag for
Yep.
the niche following that does exist.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the lines on here that
Yeah.
for those that are really into it, they got to have their stuff, and
Yeah.
nobody's
And they want it
producing
all pristine and stuff. So
Yeah.
real quick, let's say I had a Cobb, and I want to bring up
awesome.
Cobb's other comment because yes, Brick hit over 1,000 last night on because Punk shouted him out because he was so close to 1,000. So congratulations, Brick, on getting over the 1K and getting fully monetized on the tube. So you deserve it, man. Your shows are great on Sundays. I don't ever get to catch them on Sunday, but I do watch the replays quite often.
Too early for me, but I do catch the replays. I would love to be more involved in the live chat, but middle of the day on a Sunday is a bit harder for me. So
yeah.
Yes, but a great show, and Brick has he runs a quality production, one that I hope that we can continue to grow towards, maybe producing any a level of his quality. He does great. So yeah, congratulations, Brick. Going back to this though, I think this is the one that could definitely have some interesting chance for the revival, right? The idea that someone like a Hasbro or someone of the larger companies, maybe, I don't know who owns the IP right now.
Yeah, I don't
if
know
anyone,
either.
I don't know where it sits, but the vehicles, especially with so many people begging for vehicles and so many people paying a decent amount of money, this could fetch. That would be the key right here.
This Starcom line in Spiral Zone was very vehicle heavy. So like if somebody came out and made this in a
like Mask or something, right?
Yeah, like a quality 3 3/4 inch figure line. Like Starcom, Spiral Zone, there's a bunch of them that they could actually just mesh together and make into a conglomerated toy line easily.
Oh, that would be cool.
People would buy it for sure.
If you could somehow make the lines lure type tie together and piggyback off one another, that would be cool. Yeah. And then Brick says, "Hey, hell yeah, thank you. Shout out to Lawrence in the chat. They mobilized, so humbled and sorry. Ads now in play." Damn you, Brick, and your ads. No, that's awesome. Congratulations, brother.
Congratulations, brother. You deserve it for sure.
Well deserved. Exactly. Yep. Okay, cool. So that's with Starcom. We got Crystar here. And this one, the figures were based on the fantasy comic series about crystalline warriors battling molten lava enemies. The figures were translucent. I think this would actually be right up Brick's alley if he wasn't collecting them. I think he's the one that I hear always talking about translucent figures.
I don't know. But I think Oz is really into the
okay, maybe it's Oz. Maybe it's just I've been in the chats with those guys at the same time.
From what I've seen, the modern Marvel Legends Crystar that they came out with was very well liked.
I didn't even put the two together. Totally didn't even put that together.
Yep. So they just released that figure recently. Yeah, even Nomad just said that he's got the Marvel Legends Crystar. Hopefully they make another one of the characters, maybe one of the lava guys or something from that series. But being that it's a Marvel character, it was they could tie it to the Marvel Legends. I had Crystar, and I think I had one of the lava bad guys, and really cool figures, typical figures from back then, right?
Yeah. They did a really good job with that figure. I'm just pulling it up on my other screen.
Yeah.
Like in comparison to this one, I mean, they still have it on sale. It looks like on Hasbro Pulse. I don't know if it's an exclusive, but I didn't realize that was I didn't even put the two together when I was doing the research on this one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but not, like I said, that's the only figure they had, right? So who knows if they're going to actually do like, a lava person or one of the other, characters from that line. So
yeah. No, that makes sense. So, I mean, is there a potential, the reason it was discontinued was the toy line itself as a whole did not sell well. So, and I'm sorry if my screen color is looking funny on me. I've got another monitor from my work computer and it's just flipped into yellow and I don't know what it's doing. It's doing some sort of update. So I got this bright yellow screen next to me. So I apologize.
So I think the problem with this toy line is that the cartoon didn't do as well as planned, right? And it was short-lived. It was also competing against things like Black Star and the other cartoons that were on during that time. And there wasn't a lot of people that really knew back then that it was tied to a comic book character that were
Gotcha.
at the age that were buying toys. Let's put it that way, right? I mean, it
Okay,
was.
that makes sense,
I
and
didn't find out
it
till
does a
way
lot.
later that it was actually a comic book character before it became the cartoon.
Gotcha.
Never, put two and two together when I was younger. So
And from what I gathered when I was grabbing it is that there wasn't a lot of the media that was out. The show
yeah,
it wasn't really a strong
no,
media. So
yeah,
beyond the comic, it was not well received in the
hmm
the masses. So that's the reason for the discontinuation. Like many of the other ones, just didn't really catch on, and a lot of other competitive items in the market at the same time.
chances are they
The in-
probably wanted to do, hey, let's do a translucent figure because all the companies are trying to get those little niche type of characters,
yeah,
like other ones in this that are coming up, the visionaries and the um then you got like a bunch of them on this thing, right? The visionaries and the air commandos and all that. They were all
yep.
kind of niches where they had that little thing they were trying to capitalize on being different, and some of it was successful and some of it failed miserably.
Right. No, absolutely. And as you said, right, like potential revival, there is one in progress, right? Like 2024, Marvel Legends, they own this IP. They did the main character here. And there is a potential that maybe if that one does well, maybe somebody there has a crush for the other characters and is able to put out one here and there so that you can get your partially incomplete
Yep.
um, you know, wave of figures there for a certain
Yeah,
IP.
even
But
if they
yeah,
came out with a couple of the other main characters, a villain and maybe one of the other good guys, right? It would at least
yeah.
be more than just having Crystar standing on the shelf by himself.
I didn't see, any kind of tie-in rebooted comic book series or anything recently. I imagine from what I was gathering is, an appearance here and there type of thing, but not someone who is heavily involved or anything on their own at this time.
Yeah.
So good deal. Cool. The next one here is the Sky Commanders. And I'm gonna let
Yeah.
you roll with this one.
I love the Sky Commanders. I was, when I was young playing with my toys, I was always tying. I mean, my mom and dad used to get so mad at me because I tie a rope from a top cupboard handle down to like the bottom of the table, and I was always zip lining my figures. And then the Sky Commanders came out, and that's basically what they were, right? They were just, you tie these strings all over and they would just zip across on these strings. Figures were really cool. I mean, they were typical, 5 POA back then, but they had little vehicles or backpacks that would, glide on these, essentially just a bunch of kite string, and
Yeah,
every
yeah.
figure came with its own string, and they had battle packs and things like that you could get to make them, expand that world. So it was actually a big toy line. It just didn't last very long.
Gotcha. I was understanding that, when I saw this and was looking at it, it made me think of some of those the Walmart used to sell some of those knockoff G.I. Joes there, and a couple of them had like zip line shooters that you could attach, and my oldest son had them, so he tie it around a banister and then they'd be able to kind of zip line from side to side.
Yep.
So it's had a cultural impact because it's transcended beyond just
Yeah.
its own line, and it's used now in other lines. I think because as boys, we climb on things, and I don't mean just boys, but as kids, we climb on things and we're like, how can we get this from there and make it seem like that movie where I saw that guy go across the gorge or whatever, things like that. So
the Fisher Price Adventure people, one of the sets was called the Mountain Climbers, right? And it had
Yep.
a man and a woman character, and they had a grappling hook with like a 2-foot long string, right? And the
Okay.
backpack had a loop on it. So I was always taking that backpack and tying it onto the figure with a rubber band so it stayed on, because it just sat on top of his shoulders, So I'd strap him on with a rubber band and slide my rope through that, and I would zip that figure all over the place or whatever. The Joes wore it, other characters wore it, whatever figure I was playing with. But yeah, that was my jam back then. Just anything I could do zipping down a rope was cool with me.
Gotcha. That's awesome.
I still do that. I take my toys out and zip line them down in the creek. So
I take my stuff outside now.
I know you do. I'm proud of you. You and Punk both. I inspired you. I'm so proud of you.
Definitely did, man. Like there's a ton of world out there, and I got the yard and the trees and the stuff that you can do that. If I had some of these and what I'm working on with my son, and I'm trying to get him out there with tools to take logs and glue them together, and we got some cool stuff. I'm gonna try to get him to build.
I tell you what, dude, I had Luke out in the woods, doing G.I. Joe shots with me when I probably started when he was 3 or 4. And he would always come out to the woods with me, and it's just something we did. And to this day, 20 years old or 18 years old, he'll still go out to the woods with me and, help me do pictures, help me set up, shots and stuff. So, I mean,
Yeah,
it's a
that's
good thing.
awesome.
Your son's still young enough, son of wonder's still young enough. You can create that lifelong bond with him,
Yeah, he came. We did it yesterday for the first time. He came
Yeah.
home today, and about 4:30, 5 o'clock, we were getting my wife and I were getting ready for dinner, and he comes and, "Hey, Dad, you want to grab this stuff? I'll grab the bag. You grab the tripods, and we can go out and we can do some more pictures and we can play with that." And I'm like, "We got to do dinner first, bud. We can do it after." So we took everything out for a little bit, got things situated, went in, cleaned up, ate, and then went back out. So
Nice.
yeah, it was fun.
So
Can we do it again tomorrow, Dad?
yeah, that's a good thing, man. It's a really good thing. Plus, it gets them outside, right? Gets some
Exactly.
touch in nature is always a good thing for the body,
Exactly.
man. It helps
Yep.
heal the body, get you
As long
grounded.
as the mosquitoes aren't biting too
Yeah.
hard. That's the rough part.
Yeah. Once we get to a little bit farther into June, they'll slow down a little bit. Right
Yeah.
now they're all just hatching and shit because we're actually in hotter temperatures than we should be for
It's
May.
crazy.
Yeah. So
Crazy.
real quick, Derek says he needs to get off his ad. He meant ass and snag that Marvel Legends Crystar. And he spelled Crystar
Definitely do
wrong.
that.
2 spelling mistakes in one sentence, Derek. You're done. Speaking of translucent parts, Brick wants a 6.5 highly articulated pulsar. Pulsar would be an awesome figure in 6-inch. Then the Briscoe showed up. Briscoe.
It's a stream now, right? Nolan and Briscoe are here,
Yep.
right? I think Nolan was here. I saw him.
Yeah, Nolan was here. And Rollkeeper says his kid brother had the Sky Commanders. Yeah, they were a really cool line.
Yeah. Its current status doesn't exist. Nobody's making it right now.
This is another one just like
still
Starcom that people have a really big love for it,
Yeah, very small niche group of individuals, dedicated following. A revival. Could highlight the unique play mechanics, appealing to both nostalgic collectors and children interested in adventurous play for sure. I just feel like this is one of those lines that if there wasn't, I don't think this could, personally, I don't think it'd stand on its own. I just don't think it could. I think classifieds could, like, if Hasbro wanted to like throw a couple characters in with the classified line as
this is definitely something
G.I. Joe Sky Commander.
Add Sky Commanders to a G.I. Joe line, make some backpacks and some vehicles they can sit in, or something. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely not going to stand on its own. Even a cartoon wouldn't stand on its own.
Exactly. Yeah, and then the next one here is the Visionaries. The Knights of the Magical Light, I think is what it was called, if I remember correctly.
I love the Visionaries cartoon. And of course, holographic back then was just, it was the shit, right? And this is another one. Ted Darklaw, one of his favorite lines, the Visionaries.
Okay.
So when I was at PowerCon, one of the jobs he tasked me with was finding some, Visionary figures that he could pick up.
Oh, really?
They were a reasonable price. So I found him a Visionary and one of the other, I can't remember the other holographic. What's the other one that we have in this? What's the other line that we have on the slideshow here? That's the holographic ones.
I
don't remember, but when we get to it,
it's
the other one I told you was Ted's favorite line. But yeah.
Oh, it's the last one. What was it? I can't remember the name of it.
We'll get to it. But yeah, so Visionaries were cool. The cartoon was awesome because, like, in the cartoon, the holographs actually came out and like were a power, that they could fight with and stuff. So
yeah. No, this is again, I want to say this is another casualty due to the fact that it was niche in the fact that the holographic gimmick wasn't going to sustain long-term success, right? It was interesting or intriguing for folks, so they jumped into it. They were kind of ahead of their curve using that type of feature. I remember
it's like everything else in this thing, right? It's just that little niche that they were trying to capitalize on, right? Something that was different that they could capitalize
or
on.
Holographics or zip lines or animal, definitely. But with this thing, they couldn't compete with the other lines. Its cultural impact is minimal. It was innovative for the time with the holograms. But it was interesting because it also blended a piece of fantasy and sci-fi all together.
And the storylines, if you watch the storylines in the cartoon, the storylines were really, really good storylines. The cartoon was a really well done cartoon. And the figures themselves were great figures too.
I don't remember having any of them, but looking at the pictures when I was doing the research, they looked like Joe's. Like they looked like they had the same functionality. They would have fit perfect.
And the holographs were great. I mean, I like the
Yeah.
holographs.
Now I feel like it wouldn't be a holograph and it would be like an AI,
Oh yeah.
like little chip in the chest, right? With like a little video that plays.
Ted and I had that conversation at PowerCon about how like that wouldn't even be the thing you would do now, right? You would have an actual like video screen that would just change, you know. And it's crazy. So
Yeah. You know, I will say when I was doing the research, I did find that there was some talks about potential revival in comics or other media. Be interesting to see if that comes to fruition. The potential revival, I think that, like you said, as you and Ted talked about previously, the holographic technology is archaic at this point, I
yep.
think. So I don't see, unless they do something really innovative with it, I don't see that being the
The only
benefit.
thing that would sell for the holograph right now would be the nostalgia of it, right? That'd be it.
Yeah, that's it. But again, you can only pee in that bucket so many times before it fills up, and there's nothing left to do.
Right.
So, could this be its own standalone line all by itself? I don't think so.
No.
I think they would have to go with a unique spin on it and kind of adjust.
Yep.
Or you could potentially introduce this into another line as an offset.
Yeah.
I don't know the
really
lore well
upright.
enough. Oh, I think I lost you there.
In a 6-inch form with. I'm still here.
Okay.
I think if you made
out.
it into a, am I?
You're good now. You're good now, but
Okay.
you were in and out for a second.
If you could get like a 6-inch line, right, really well detailed, and then have like a modern, like I said, like an LCD screen instead of a hologram, really like beef up, the tech on it or something, you could probably sell it as an individual line.
Yeah.
But it would still need some kind of, really big push. So
was
real
this
quick,
I just saw. Oop, I think you and I hit it at the same time.
Yeah. Whether it's playing with
Go
your
ahead.
toys, hiking, working out on the house in the yard. Hey, Dad, can I help? That's the good stuff. Absolutely. And Derek would like to know what the hell he did to upset the autocorrect because it's, not playing nice with him. Rollkeeper loved the Visionaries cartoon. Those little spells they would say before using the holograms were always cool. Absolutely. Yep. Great cast. Like I said, the Visionaries cartoon was a solid cartoon.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Yep. No, you're good. You're good. I think there was a message.
I
may have missed it.
Rick here. I'm gonna cry if Micronauts isn't on this list. All good. Yeah. And Metal Gear is bringing its Japanese forebear Microman via Project M. Oh, that's cool. I did not know that.
Oh, cool.
This is. But you can start crying now because we don't have Micronauts on there.
But don't leave because you got to know what replaced it.
Visionaries and Transformers crossover at IDW seems really cool. I did not know they did a crossover. That's cool.
Interesting. That I would be interested in. I think you could get away with something in comic, but I don't know from a toy line, could you get current technology into a figure like that without the cost being astronomical and being able to leverage it? The holographic worked because it was.
They sell those little LCD TVs that are like $15. So I mean, you could do it.
Something. It'd be interesting to see what they could do.
Yeah.
To try to keep it still current. Yeah, definitely. Yep. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Again, like I said, I saw some revivals, but it was more along the lines of comic and other media, similar to like the crossover that's mentioned. Yeah. But I didn't see anything about a potential toy, coming. Yeah. The next piece is Dino Riders, right? So this one, before we talk about any current state to it, right? It was Dino Riders featured, the detailed dinosaurs, with futuristic battle gear, and it included both, figures and vehicle-like assortments. And it did have a popular TV show, but unfortunately, it faced quite a bit of competition from other dinosaur-themed toys, especially with the release of the Jurassic Park.
Right.
So it also had difficult.
You also had Cadillacs and dinosaurs. That was a cartoon on at that time. There was a lot of dinosaur themed things that it's like everything else, always there's several things that are coming out that are the same that are just,
And this is where we're going to kind of touch on from a cultural impact side, right? Like it definitely, was highly regarded, with the detailed dinosaur figures, had its, robotic technology or futuristic technologies on it, which alludes to Cyberzoic, right? So revival current status. While this IP may not be coming, there is Cyberzoic, which is very, very similar to the Dino Riders with a current, manufacturing process to it.
Out of all the toy lines that we've talked about so far on this list, I would say Dino Riders is the one you hear often that people want. Oh, Dino Riders, and that's why. What is it called? What's the one we just talked about?
Cyberzoic.
Cyberzoic, yeah. Like, that's why people are loving that line so much, because like Dino Riders is just, everybody loved the Dino Riders.
It fulfills that gap, right?
Yep.
It fulfills that nostalgia, but the fresh spin, and gives you that continuation without being a direct continuation, I guess. But you can give your imagination to it, and it's like, hey, that's what it was. So there have been, the toys, from my understanding, are fairly high priced collectibles. With some of the figures catching pretty significantly high prices. And there has been talks in the past about, and limited attempts to revive the line. Given the ever enduring popularity of dinosaurs, a full revival probably could be successful, but now you have something like Cyberzoic already out there.
Right. I think if you took because Mattel has a good corner on the dinosaur Jurassic Park series. Like, my Walmart has an 8-foot section of Jurassic Park. Most Targets have an 8-foot section of Jurassic Park. If Mattel got this line and just made a section of Dino Riders as part of that line, I think it would be very successful.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, we saw the success of Cyberzoic, right? And that one did really well.
Yep. I was saying for really reviving it for kids. Right?
Oh no, yeah.
That's what Jurassic Park is aimed at, getting the kids involved. And I think Dino Riders being sold right next to Jurassic Park would definitely sell really well.
Oh yeah, like right between Transformers and the Jurassic Park stuff, you would see those things right next to each other. Like, oh, it's not a Transformer, because it's not, right, and it's not a transforming dinosaur, but it's you have that that mechanical aspect of it right between right in between it. It's like, oh, it's kind of like a merger of those things. So absolutely. Oh, Brick's got something here on that last comment. If you want to see that, that would actually be really smart to do.
I just wanted to point this out, that Hasbro probably has the rights to Visionaries, so we'll never see them again.
And that's why we don't talk about the larger.
It'd be interesting to see some sort of screen tech in a modern Visionaries line. They do that with Mario Lego sets. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? There's a lot of little sets out there that have LCD screens, and they don't cost that much.
That'll be interesting.
Rollkeeper says, Derek Hoover, I have a bunch of fond memories of watching the cartoon before going to Sunday school. And which one? What did you say? Brick? Super 7 Ultimate.
Brick's last one.
Gem and the Holograms, please. Oh yeah, Gem and the Holograms. Exo Squad, that's another good one. And Humanoids.
I'll throw this up real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll throw it up. Yeah. So he says a third party just needs to make the armor compatible with Jurassic World, Jurassic Park toys.
Oh yeah.
So someone could do that. And then he said Hasbro has the rights to Visionaries, Micronauts, and Mass. So sorry folks. You're SOL from the sounds of it. Or you're Hasbro'd.
Yeah, you're Hasbro'd, exactly. Go ahead to the next one. I'm gonna highlight these ones that everybody was mentioning about other lines that are
gotcha. Yeah, no, those will be good to talk about here in a minute.
Good short.
And then the next one, I think this is what you're talking about. Is this the one?
Supernaturals. That was another holographic line. So this was a little different than the Visionaries, because Visionaries had like a holographic chest, and then they had their staff, and that basically, in the cartoon, they would cast a spell, and then the spell would be the hologram, right? The Supernaturals, it would be like the outline of the body. So like the Mummy had like an outline body of a static body of like a brown cloaked or gray cloaked figure. And then inside the hologram would be a mummy or a skeleton or something along those lines. So it's like the whole figures weren't really posable, except for maybe like the arms moved or whatever, right? But the hologram was part of the actual character, not an outside part of the character. Let's put it that way.
And in this image, it looks like the shield has like a hologram too, right?
Yes. Yep.
I feel like that's what they're showing here, is that like they have the hologram on the shield too. So, additional levels. And what I love on this one is it's an image and it says KB, so it makes me think of KB Toys. Like there's a label on this one. So that's what it makes me. I thought that was cool when I found this one.
Yep. Because that was KB Toys thing. because they were KAYBEE, but then they also went by KB when in later times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sell all your properties to someone that actually cares about them. Yeah, no, you're spot on there. I don't know if you want to throw that up or
Which one?
this one right here. I have an idea for Hasbro. Sell all your properties to someone that actually cares about them.
Right. That's what we were saying
Yep.
about like some of the other lines that they have. They could easily, I mean, they market GI Joe out to, or license GI Joe out to all these other companies. Why not just do that for some of these lines you don't use, right? And
Yeah, I mean that would make the most sense. Is kind of do like
Yep.
a package, like some sort of like crossover stuff, and
Yeah.
if you touch on enough and you make it within scale of each other and stuff, and
Yeah.
a lot of these, if they did like the 6-inch scale stuff, people would get it as filler pieces for their Joes or their other
Yeah.
lines, right?
But I mean, like,
So you slide it
you're
in.
making GI Joes. You were making GI Joes in two different scales in just recent times, and now you are just licensing Joe out to everybody. I mean, I think there's 5 people that have the Joe license right now, right? And
Yeah,
it's
I've
like,
seen a few.
why not license one of your other properties out that everybody wants
Well,
to see, like Black Star or Mask or something?
But
right?
you gotta license it out to the right people because you
Right,
don't want.
yeah.
I mean, you don't want Super 7.
Right. But they could say that, right? Yeah, go ahead,
Right.
show us what you got, right? Okay, yeah, we like that. As long as your design comes out looking like your renders, we're good,
Yep.
And whatever you sell, we get, 30% of or whatever their contract price is, right? It's like
Agreed. Yeah. No, that's a good point. And just to kind of cover on a couple things, right? This kind of echoed the same thing we saw previously with the holographic feature. Really didn't sustain consumer interest. And again, this is another one of those lines that came out and it was just overshadowed by the powerhouses and juggernauts that were already in
Yeah.
existence.
Yeah.
They tried to find
Supernatural
their niche.
really had low articulation, right? They had some cool play sets, but the articulation in the figures was really subpar for especially at that time.
What I did see was that and what I did think through was that with potential of a revival, I saw some things where they hinted towards advancements in holographic technology,
Mhm.
and maybe a potential renewed interest in supernatural themes. A modern revival could be somewhat appealing, but again, I think if this came out now, there's already so much stuff to market.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know that this would sustain on its own. It would have to be that offset aspect, right? But
Yeah. This
maybe
has
there's
a
enough of that niche.
really small cult following. I mean, like smaller than any of the other lines, I would say.
Yeah. Before we go into the the starred comments and stuff, I'm going to jump into the next slide, which is going to talk about what we're doing next week.
Yep.
If you want to just double check the starred comments, make sure we cleared up the ones we already went over, and then we can come back to that. But
Yeah,
if you guys in the chat,
I got it marked where we were at.
Awesome. If you guys have any other comments or thoughts, what are some of the forgotten favorites that we forgot, that you haven't been mentioned. So throw those in there. We'll talk about those for a couple minutes here. But in the meantime, next week, we got the Toyleet Takeover, same bat channel, same bat time, from plastic to panels, top toy to comic crossovers, right? So, this is going to be focused on toys that came from and were established essentially by comic books. Specifically, we're not talking TV shows, cartoons, movies, things like that. It's really the focus on specific type of medium, right? And that medium being that of a paperback, graphic novel, comic style toy, brought to you from those.
And we're also going to address some of the new toy lines that have launched toy lines and comics simultaneously, like AWOC.
Exactly. AWOC, Savage Crucible,
Vala.
the Vala, the Meta, what it was earlier. They have a comic book, so we'll be talking about some of that stuff. So there'll definitely be a mix of content there for folks of modern day stuff.
Delta 17 is hoping to launch their comic at Joke Fest. Eagle Force has a comic coming from Fresh Monkey.
I think it's and we'll talk about it more next week, but I think it's a very dominant medium that folks can. It's a cheaper medium to produce than an animation. And it's something you can put out to market faster. And being honest, a lot of people they want to tell their own stories with toys, but they like to see what other, see where the lore came from, myself. But I don't want to give away everything we're going to talk about next week. You got to pay for that, so show up next week, put in the time. What other comments you got there? Let's check that chat again.
So Brick mentioned Micronauts earlier, but also Exo Squad was another short-lived line. Exo Squad was pretty cool. Briscoe mentioned the Inhumanoids, which was also another really cool line. I don't remember Dino Saucers, but Derek mentioned Dino Saucers.
I remember Dino Saucers. That's the one that I remember over the Dino Riders.
Yeah.
I feel like it was like a TV show, cartoon, and I feel like it was like the world ended or whatever, and they were almost, you know what they reminded me of? The characters reminded me of the there's two versions of it that are essentially out, and they both came out around the same time. I think what's the toy line? There was a Kickstarter, and it was those dinosaurs with the big long necks.
Oh, yep.
I can't think of it. I gotta look that up to give updates on it because I know that succeeded.
Yeah.
I didn't back it, but that's
it wasn't the Saurozoic Warriors, right? That was the other one. That was that one, right? The long neck ones, because they were the big ones, right? You're talking about
Boss Studio did something very similar at the same time.
That was the Saurozoic Warriors was Boss Fight.
Yeah, so Boss Fight did their version, and then there was a Kickstarter that had come out right around the time Boss Fight announced theirs or whatever, and very similar concepts for sure.
And they were big. They were bigger though than the Saurozoic Warriors.
And the Dino Saucers was very much, if you look at those, it's inspiration for both those lines.
Okay, so this is a great idea. Have Marvel Legends do a Hasbro Legends and just do like Gem and Leoric and Matt Tracker from Mask, and that would be a great line. No, I'm the question. Thanks for coming by, dude. Anybody that wants the new YouTube that's toy related to follow, No, I'm the question has some really good content out there. So stop on by, give him a follow. Hasbro really seems to love Transformers and G.I. Joe right now. Absolutely. And Gem is supposedly making a comeback.
Taking a step back to that last comment, right? I mean, they absolutely do, right? And there's modern media, the movie, right? The most recent Transformers movie opened right up to the Joe and Transformers crossover. Spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, well, it's been a long time. And it opened up that door. I'm sure it's not going to satisfy everyone's flavor, but it's going to be something that puts toys on the shelves and money in Hasbro's pockets because people are going to buy the crap. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. They definitely, those are profitable brands.
Scale the Misfits from Gem. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Love the Bad Girls. Briscoe says, honestly, don't know how Hasbro stays in business. Well, that's because their main focus is their child stuff, all their kid toys. That's where their focus is. Set up your own Battle of the Bands. That would be awesome. Let's see. Battle Beasts were fun holographic toys. Yep, we were talking about the Battle Beast. I think that was on before you came in, Cobb.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, because that was the small ones. Yeah, they had the cool holographic designs in their chest that showed you their powers. Armies of Ashmore. Is that the one?
That's the other one.
Yeah. Yep.
Armies of Ashmore. That's the one from Kickstarter. So I'll look into that between now and next week to give everybody an update on that, because while I didn't back it, it's one that I'm happy to see succeed. It just didn't fit what I'm collecting, but they looked really cool. And definitely
the Armies of Ashmore is the figure that I picked up at PowerCon, and the guy was so scared I was going to drop it because they were just test shots, but he told me I could hold it, so I did.
That's awesome.
And then Briscoe, one last comment. I think only 3 people saw it by the amount of money it made.
I paid for 4 seats. That's not even possible.
That's it for the chat right now. So awesome. while we have 10 people here, let's run through the new intro real quick for the people that didn't get to see the new intro.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that real quick. Here we go.
So this is our new intro for those of you who missed it at the beginning of the show.
Ellie Assembly. Flash is the Toyleet crew. We're the kings on the game, the chosen few. From the shadows we rise with the rarest finds. Collect them, respect them, we're one of a kind. Toyleet, ready the streets, elite with the feats in this collectible feast. Toyleet, down in the street, we're the heart of the beat, we're all playmates me. Check our stacks, our collection supreme. Limited editions, every collector's dream. We're the myths, we're the legends, with every drop. Taking over the block, we never stop. In the alleys where the echoes play, Toyleet's the name, hear what we say. Rising, thriving, always than just toys. Toyleet, raiding the streets, elite with the thieves in his collectible feast. Toyleet, never discreet, when a heart on the beat, we're all playmates. Me, we're the tree, we're the Toyleet. What's the throne? Cause in this zone, we never admit defeat. Come for the thrill, stay for the chase. Toyleet's in the place, set in the pace.
Yes,
That's the
awesome.
song.
All right,
Well cut.
so a couple last minute questions or comments, I should say. Damn work made Cobb miss the damn battle beast. Well,
Quit it. Quit the job, dude.
quit the
Full time
job,
YouTube.
yeah, just throw the job away. You don't need it. Even if they do a 5.5 scale, so they match up a Mo2 and Pop, or a 4-inch line, so they fit with Super Power scale. I don't know which line she's talking about, but maybe
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe.
Yeah. Like it lasted 2 weeks in theaters, 300,000, maybe. Not great. Yeah, true. And then Rollkeeper says this song rocks. Yes, it does.
Yes.
Thanks, Rollkeeper. Yes, very catchy tune there. Let's cut some shapes. Yes, Eldor, let's cut some shapes. And Derek also says, fan of the intro. Thanks, Derek.
Thank you.
And Briscoe's comment, Gem of the Hologram is done in an SH figure art style. Would actually be really cool, Allison. Yeah, that would be really awesome.
Yeah.
And autocorrect got Dan Briscoe too. It got Briscoe, Rollkeeper, and Derek. We set that up on purpose. We messed with the algorithm and the tech inside StreamYard, so autocorrect does not work.
Right.
From your end, we're that good.
Awesome.
We got contacts in the CIA.
Good deal. So yeah, just calling it back out there, right? So let's close this up. We've gone on almost 2 hours here for folks. We appreciate everybody tuning in and
thanks for stopping in.
The interaction, comments. Ed, what you got going on this week?
What do I got going on this week? So what is today? Today's Tuesday.
Takeover day. I wake up and it's like it's takeover.
Tuesday. Toyleet Takeover. The Triple T.
Yep.
Tomorrow, I don't have anything going on tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be watching stop over to Payne's Toy Samples, where he'll be having this guy right here on the therapy couch, get to know what Derek likes for his toys and any kind of fantasies that he might want to divulge. So that's tomorrow night. And Thursday, I will be modding for a Punk with Toys. He'll have a unboxing art on, discussing,
cool.
It's Thursday with a friend, so it's kind of getting to know unboxing art. And then awesome. Friday late at night, I will be modding for Radnom, of course, and that starts anywhere from 10:30 to midnight on this late night craft and chill channel, and that's on Random Diorama. And then Saturday, I will be on the Clubhouse, probably hosting it this week for sure, because I know I don't have anything going on Saturday night, and Oz still hasn't got his computer issue taken care of yet, so I'll probably be hosting the Clubhouse. Speaking of the Clubhouse, Joe G, what's up, brother? Joe G comes into the Clubhouse on his nights that he doesn't have to work. So that'll be Saturday at 10 o'clock on my channel, probably. More than likely, you'll see a thumbnail come out for it. Then Sunday, Hella Dope Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Monday, I'm on be modding for Punk on his Toy Ramblings. And then be back here next Tuesday with comic book inspired toy lines.
Awesome. Yeah, good
How about
deal.
You, man?
Cool. I will likely, this weekend's a busy week. We got I think this is the holiday week, right? I think we got Memorial Day this weekend. So I'll probably do a little small barbecue at the house over the weekend. YouTube stuff. I don't really have much going on there. You know me, I'll be in the streams from time to time. You'll definitely see me on the Hella Dope Sunday night. I'm always there.
Yeah. I forgot this weekend's already Memorial Day. Damn, where'd the beginning of this year go already?
Went by fast, man. So I'll jump in and be in the stream, or not in the stream, but in the chats for Hella Dope on Sunday. Between now and then, I follow a lot of the same guys you do, Ed. So you'll see me giving Punk a hard time. Maybe I'll call him on Thursday night to try to interrupt his cast.
He likes it when you call.
With art. I think he does. I think
he tries to play it off, but he likes it.
He goes and he's like, oh, there's Travis right there, you know, and pulls the watch up and shows the message. So there's that. You know, if I'm up late working, we got a lot of stuff going on with Hexa Stack over the next couple days. So I'm not going to do a big grand launch. I'm going to launch it. It's going to be kind of like quiet. You can place your orders, but you know, keep your eye out. The Kickstarter backers will be getting an email in the next couple days so that they can reach out and let me know if they want the invoices. We're going to have a select number of items, a select type of items available, or bundles. Some of the items that were originally part of the Kickstarter aren't going to release right away. Things like the flight stand, things like the card holder, but those will be coming in subsequent releases over the next couple weeks. So a lightweight at this
You're
point.
gonna honor the
tried to
Kickstarter price for everybody that was Kickstarter, right?
Yes, I am. Yep.
All right.
You know, at this point, you know, even my daughter said to me on Sunday at the toy show, she's like, Dad, you got to sell this stuff. You know, you got to move it forward, and you know, you're going to keep trying to perfect things. It's where it needs to be.
Yep.
You know, and if you don't just start to move, it's just going to continue to move out, and you're going to give yourself chances to slow it down. So keep your eye out.
You got a good product now. You got the bugs worked out. So now it's just time to launch it, right?
Yep.
Because if you keep going back looking for perfection, you're never going to find perfection, because it's just, there's always going to be something, right?
Yep.
So.
Absolutely. So keep your eyes out for that. That's my big thing. That's my focus the next several days, to get that pushed out there, so you guys will see that. So please do like, subscribe over on the Instagram, you know, for Toyleet, for the Hexa Stack, for Axion Figs, and for myself, Mr. Wonderful. Also, you know, give us a like, subscribe here, share us. We're here every Tuesday. Consistency is key. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the production. If you have any suggestions, comments, please, you know.
Yep, drop us a comment, you know, or hit us up on a DM on IG with the suggestion for the show. Right now, this week we got the comic book show, and then the week after that, we're doing a pre-Joe Fest DFW Joe show.
Potentially some guests, maybe.
Yeah, potentially some guests. Just celebrating G.I. Joe as a toy line. Not going to get into the weeds about Hasbro is, you know, this or that, and this show's better or that show's better. It's just going to be celebrating G.I. Joe from 1964 and how it's still on toy shelves in, you know, 2024. So
exactly.
You know,
absolutely.
what is that? 60 years that damn thing's been around, right? Because they got the 60th anniversary, right? This year with the action soldier and sailor right now. So yeah, I mean, you know, it's been around 60 years. And there's only been a few years out of those 60 years that it hasn't been in the toy aisle. So
exactly. So with that said, we appreciate you all. Don't be crap, because crap gets flushed.
That's right.
we'll work on the closing.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks.
In the town where toys are king, there's a man named Ted Dark Claw, and he's got a thing. It's hella dope toys, no place to get toys. Came from Street Fighter, only found a place to stay. Watch them go in the store of your dreams, where camp plots and schemes. Hella dope toys is the spot for a nostalgic play, where heroes